Hi, welcome to my channel, Lessons for Little Blessings. I'm Tessa and I'm a first and second grade teacher staying at home now with my two boys. So let's talk today about helping to teach your kids their letter sounds, or also known as phonics. These games are great for preschool up till first grade even, and they're great if you want to just focus on letter sounds, or you could do them while you're also working on letter names and identifying letters, or you can kind of do them all combined. If your child is still learning their letter names and identifying their letters, I've got another video that has some different games that can help with that as well. I'll have that link down below and you can check that out also. The first thing I want to look at is an ABC chart. So these are great. We use these every day in the classroom. We had a giant poster, so you might consider doing that. If you're homeschooling, just get a giant poster of this, and then each kid had their own copy, probably multiple copies. We use them in small reading groups, in writing. They're just so useful. So because we use them so much, I think it is very important to repetitively do this with your child at the beginning, so they'll just be really comfortable with it, and then they'll be able to use it on their own independently, doing different activities. There's so many you can find. I'll link one down below, but I like ones that have upper and lowercase letters. I just think it's helpful for the kids to see both. There's a couple different ways you can use it depending on your focus. Some of the smaller, maybe more preschool, kindergarten kids, they'll do more of a basic chant, and I'll show you that with just the letter names and the picture, and we can add in the letter name and sound and then kind of combine it all together. So I'll show you what it looks like. A apple, B bike, C cat. So it's really just repetition. It seems kind of boring, but I promise when they get it down and they can do it by themselves, it really becomes a tool that they can use. So they will just go through the whole thing like that. I think pointing is also helpful. Make the kids point, otherwise they'll just, spout it off and they won't really be focused. And I think they'll get more out of it if they are. So that's just letter names, and then you can do letter sounds. So it might look like this. A apple, B bike, C cat. So they're identifying the letter, the sound it makes, and then the picture that goes with it. Okay, and then you could also do something similar and do A apple, like apple, B bike, B like bike. And it seems like a mouthful, but with first graders, I found it was really helpful, the B like bike. So as they're reading or writing too, and they're trying to find that. So I'll give you an example with writing. So if they want to write the word ball, and so you want them to hear what's the sound at the beginning, B like, and then they bike, they'll associate that picture with that letter, and then they'll either remember what it looks like just because they've done this so much, or they can refer back to it, because we would have little student ones, so they could refer back and see the letter that they wanted for that. So seems like a mouthful, but once they get comfortable, confident doing this, like I said, it just really is a great tool. So that's the ABC chart. Okay, just to show you a little more what I meant on the ABC chart. So you can ask them to find, or you can say cover the letter that makes the D sound. And then they could use something to cover it up. You could do little chips like that. You could use some letters where they're matching the letter and putting that on there. Any kind of magnetic letters, or they don't even have to be magnetic. They could be letter cards. These would be a little too big, but you could use something like that to just cover it up. as they're finding different letters. So that's just an easy game you can also do with the ABC chart. And then you can also word it a little bit differently where you use a word instead of just giving them the sound. So you could say, find the letter at the beginning of the word jump. And so they'll have to hear that j at the beginning and find the, my magnetic letters are a little too big, but you get the idea. Okay, so they have to find that beginning sound. And I would start with the beginning sound. As they advance through that, you can do more the ending sounds as well. But beginning sound is a really good thing to start with. Find the letter at the beginning of the word fan. Fan. Good. Find the letter at the beginning of the word jump. Jump. Good job. Find the letter at the beginning of the word ant. Oh, you're so good. Okay. Another great tool for learning sounds is picture cards. And there are so many different ways to do these. I'm going to give you just a couple ideas for today to try. These picture cards also have letter cards. And so you can first just do a basic matching where they just match the picture with the card. So sun, sun, and it would be beginning sound again. Jet, j. Okay, so they're just matching. So that's one easy way to start, is just matching the picture. And then you can take these letter cards and just do pictures, and you can have them just point, kind of similar to the ABC chart where they're just finding that beginning sound. You can just put all the pictures and ask them to find the picture that starts with a f. So they're going to look for the f at the beginning. Fork. If your kiddos are getting pretty familiar with their beginning sounds and they know all the letter sounds, you could do ending sounds. And I would pick a little more simple words as you're starting, but it could look similarly where you say, find the letter that is at the end of the word top. Okay, so they're still having to hear that sound. They just are listening for the sound that comes at the end, the top, that P sound. A bat.
That's what you say.
What do you hear at the beginning of that word? Bat.
Black. Black.
What's that first sound you hear? Bat.
Black.
So what's the first sound you hear? Bat. B-at. I just wanted to note that you'll see how if they're a little bit stuck, you can kind of slow the word down as you say it. And you might have to do that quite a few times as they're getting started and they're trying to really hear that sound at the beginning of the word. So you'll notice I really stretched out that word bat and wound up having to pretty much say every sound by themselves. And then you saw him jump up and try to find the letter B. So, and that's totally normal. You might wind up having to do that. Another way you could use these letter cards, you could put all your letters out, and you could find, you'd have to do a little work ahead of time yourself. So I rounded up just a bunch of little random trinkets that all have a different starting sound, beginning sound, and then they could do a matching game this way. And you can also do, if you have little clear cups, I don't happen to have any right now, but you could tape these on the cup, and then they could put whatever it is in the cup. Okay, so we'll see if I have some. So frog starts with F. Okay, a dice starts with D. Okay, so they just kind of do a little matching. Another sorting game you can do with picture cards, and you would need multiple pictures of each sound for this. I'll link some different games below, and you can find some that might work. So this one, they can just do a simple sort where they're finding the beginning sounds and they're just sliding them around. So that's what I mean by simple sort, just kind of moving to different groups. Okay, so mouse and tub, so those are different, and house. Bunny. Turtle sounds like one of these other ones, so it's kind of a little matching too. So it starts turtle like tub, so they can kind of group them together. Horse sounds like house at the beginning. We're going to call this a bird. Bird sounds like bunny, and bat also sounds like those at the beginning. Milk sounds like mouse. Okay, so that was kind of quick run through, but they're just grouping them based on the beginning sounds. So you can do those with lots of different picture cards. This is a bingo game. This one I got from someone else, so I will list it down below. This one has a mat for each letter, so you'd kind of be focusing on one letter at a time. And I just have it out. You could put it in a sheet protector if you wanted to make it. You could do a dry erase marker. You can just use these chips as they find and cover the letter, or you could use, my son loves these dot markers, so that's why I've got it out of the sheet protector. So he will dot it every time he finds it. And you have a set of cards. Some start with the beginning sound of T and some don't. So you will, not showing the cards, you will read a word, and if your child hears that word start with the focus letter, the letter that you have on the mat, then they will cover a matching letter. If not, then they won't cover it. Okay, so you'll just go through, like the first one I'll show you is teeth. So they will listen. If they hear a T at the beginning of that word, they'll cover or mark or color however you're playing it. So then you'll go through key, and they obviously should not be coloring anything, okay? So again, they're just listening for that beginning sound. And this, this link does have every single letter. So it's a bit of printing out, but I think it's a fun game. As always, I hope that was helpful and give you some ideas to try with your kids. If so, please like this video and consider subscribing for more math, reading, and writing activities for your kids. Thanks for watching and have a great day.